And I would like to know what type of reading material that you would recommend on magazine to keep aware of the updates and the changes in the art world for investors or collectors.
I've got a good one.
Is this one?
Yeah, that's one. That's
Yes. Our magazine.
That's one today.
Dick Hanson's magazine.
I'm buying this one.
We have a couple more issues available. This is our Bible. This is the only magazine that is devoted to African American art. There are others on the market that are good, but this is the only one that's solely committed to educating us about African American art. There are Art in America and others, but
Art News.
But we are lucky if we get an article in those magazines. So it's the International Review of African American Art, and we're selling them for the museum for $10.50. And several of the gallery is mentioned in here because several of my artists are in the collections of the collectors that are in this issue. So please buy a copy. We have, I think, 9 left, or maybe 8, because I think Rose is buying them, so we have 8 of them
And
left.
Dr. Atwell is in,
He was in a previous issue.
he's in one of the books. Well, understand this. This is the only African American periodical. This is the only African American periodical. I'm on the advisory group with this. We are going to expand it more and more so that you can see and also so the gallery owners, Myrtis, can advertise in there and tell you when she's having her teas, or Jarvis is having his affairs and everything. We're opening it up. It's going to be different than what it was when Dr. Lewis started this magazine. It's going to be totally different. We have a new director, She's modular, and yes, and we're getting our new board together, and it's going to be a wonderful magazine. Definitely buy the book, and also you can get a subscription to it. I went back after Joyce, my dear friend Joyce, Dr. Roberts, told me she went to Hampton and she picked up all of the old books, and I followed through, and I have all of the books that they've ever produced. And I mean, and I spend, my cocktail table is up like this, and I go through and I read them. But I also have Rick Powell's book, Black Art. These are some of the books I use quite frequently. Sharon Patton, African American Art, excellent. And then Cedric Dover is excellent for the masters. But there's so many wonderful, the book that you mentioned, we're reading in our book club of the legacies of the African American HBCUs. There are so many books, and actually you can go to most museums, Smithsonian, any of the museums, Corcoran, and they have a few. But today, now that you can go online, you can go and get anything you want at a very reduced price.
Can I make a quick suggestion? I mean, I think this magazine is just excellent. I've subscribed to it for several years. But also, frankly, if you just want to get a start, if you go on Amazon, if you're an Amazon user, and just put in African American art in books, tons will pop up. And just, you can now look at them, you can look at parts of the book and get a sense of what's in the table of contents, and just choose. I mean, you can't go wrong. There's frankly, I haven't ever read one that I thought was a waste of money, because if nothing else, you have phenomenal images that you get through these magazines. You just learn a lot through books. So just go on Amazon and do a search.
Books.
And I'm just going to again play the other side, because again, we're in a global market. We're in a global market. So I read all those, but get Art in America. Gotta read it, or something else that tells you what else is going on around. Because you gotta know about the Arlene Shishaks, or the Sean Sullivans, or when Clifford Still has a museum in Denver, Colorado. So I want us to, of course, our focus is on African Americans, but it is a global market. The Chinese market is booming now in China. These magazines have these articles, and I guarantee almost monthly, at least one African American artist. In the back pages, 1 or 2 come up almost every single month. And I showed you in my lecture on the cover. That was, I just did a review the past 3 years. And those people were on the cover of Art American. All those were African American artists. So I just want to just keep in mind that this is a global
Because I get
perspective.
Art America, Art News, Art Forum, and the International Review. And understand what I like about Art News and Art in America, they tell you they tell you the changing of the guards as far as curators and directors at the museums. And I like knowing that.
Just real quickly, in addition to the publications, if you're into the internet and all that, artinfo.com. Particularly if you go to that website and get on their email list, and there's plenty of them, there's Art News and Art Daily and all that, but particularly artinfo.com, they do a fairly good job covering African American artists and what they're doing, their shows, and so I would get on their e-list and read what they have. I think that they come out every day, and it's a lot of good information on that.
Another good source of information in terms of sales and auction figures, things like that. So you're looking at something in a catalog, you want to know what other auctions has this artist gone through, is askart.com. It's a membership, you have to pay for that, but it's worth it if you are getting serious.
Yes, and Alex wanted us to put a plug in for our exhibition catalogs, because what we've committed ourselves to doing as a result of the fact that a lot of contemporary artists are left out of the books, the magazines, and especially those that operate outside of the New York art scene, but are still making way and making themselves known in the arts community. So as a result of that, we've committed ourselves to publishing catalogs so that you can stay abreast of the artists' careers as they grow.
We'll be able to subscribe or order.